Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about another important concept in our syllabus, that is hotspots. So, what are the hotspots and what is the importance of hotspots? We will be discussed now. Okay, listen very carefully. Here, the hotspots means regions. What are called? The regions that harbor a great diversity. What I'm saying, regions that harbors a great diversity. Okay, so regions that harbors a great diversity of endemic species and at the same time have been significantly impacted and altered by human activities. So because of human activities, that altered spaces or areas are also called hotspots. Hotspots are areas characterized with high concentration of endemic species. What will be there in these hotspots? Endemic species are more. What's the meaning of endemic? Where they are living, there itself. No other place in the world we can't find. So, endemic species experiencing unusual rapid rate of habitat modification loss. So, unusual rapid rate of habitat loss is going on because of these human activities. Norman Mayers Norman Mayers, one of the great person scientist, defined Norman Mayers. What's his name? Norman Mayers defined the hotspots, the regions the harbor a great diversity of endemic species, and at the same time have been significantly impacted and altered by human activities. So, a hotspot is a region that supports at least 1,500. How many? Supports 1,500 endemic vascular plant species. So, 0.5% of global total. So, 1,500, 1,500 endemic vascular plant species. So, another important one, and has lost more than 70% of its original vegetation. So, 1,500 endemic vascular plant species has lost more than 70% of original vegetation. Has lost more than 70% of its natural original vegetation. Next, there are 35 biodiversity hotspots in the world. Very important need bit. So 35 biodiversity hotspots. Very important. 35 biodiversity hotspots are there. 35 biodiversity hotspots are there. These 35 biodiversity hotspots in the world, India is the most important one. I am telling, India is the one of the India is the home to 4 biodiversity hotspots. India is the 4 biodiversity hotspots. India is home to 4 biodiversity hotspots. So India is the what you called home to 4 biodiversity hotspots. Number one, Himalaya. Number two, Western Ghats. Number three, Indio-Burma. Number three, Sundarlands. So once again, I am telling you, children, hotspots means regions that harbor a great diversity of endemic species and at the same time have been significantly impacted and altered by human activities. It supports 1,500 endemic vascular plant species. Of the global total has lost more than 70% of its original vegetation. 35 biodiversity hotspots in the world. India is home to, what do you call? India is home to different 4 hotspots. So India, what do you call? India is home to 4 biodiversity hotspots. Number one, Himalaya. Number two, Western Ghats. Number three, Indio-Burma. So what is this Indian Burma? So you know very well, include entire northeastern India except Assam and Andaman group of islands, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia and southern China. So these all compare with all the other things, this Indo-Burma region have more endemic species. Okay, so these all are very important. Next important, Sundalands. The Sundalands includes Nicobar group of islands. You know, Nicobar group of islands means very important. You know very well, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Philippines. Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Philippines. So this like this, India has how many hotspots? Very important one, 4 hotspots. In some books 3, in some books 4, like that they given. But in Tamil Nadu state book they given the 4 hotspots. Okay. So here very important point you should have to remember. In 1998 there were 1000. Okay, very important. 1102 animal and 1197. So 1100, not 2, 102, and another one 1000, 1197. These are the very important numbers. So 1102 animals, 1197 plants. Species in IUCN Red List. So Indian Union Conservation Red List are there in 2002. The list features 307 animal and 2655 plant species are endangered worldwide. How many? Observe very carefully. So the 30, very important word I am telling to you, 3079 and 2655 plant species endangered. So that is a very important points. Okay. So what are those? Once again you should listen carefully. So what are the biodiversity hotspots? Himalayas, Western Ghats, Indo-Burma, Sundarlands. So endangered organisms. A species that has been, what is endangered? A species that has been categorized as very likely to become extinct. Very likely to become extinct is an endangered species. Very likely to become extinct. So endangered is characterized by International Union for Conservation of Nature. What is this? IUCN? International Union for Conservation of Nature. Okay. Red list is there. So it's the second most severe conservation status for the wild population in the IUCN. What is that one? Severe conservation status for wild population in the IUCN scheme are after critically endangered. CR, critically endangered. So extincted, critically endangered with red list. This all are who is giving information? International Union Conservation of Nature. Red list is the second most severe conservation status for wild populations in the IUCN scheme after critically endangered. First one is critically endangered. Second one is red list. First one is critically endangered. Second one is red list. So 1998, just now I said, what is that? 1998 what? 1102 animals and 1197 plant species in the IUCN red list. So in 2012 the list features, what you called? In the 2012 how many? The list features 3079 animals, 2655 plant species as endangered worldwide. So these points you have to remember. Next, extinction. What is extinction? None of its members are alive. What is that one? Species is considered extinct. When we can consider the species extinct, none of its members are alive anywhere in the world. So none of its members, that particular species, one particular species members not anywhere in this world, exist anywhere in the world. So or another important one, if individuals of a species remain alive only in captivity or under human controlled conditions. If suppose one or two maybe survive, that is completely under human controlled conditions. Human controlled conditions, in the sense that will be called extinction. What do you call that kind of species are called extinctions. The species are said to be extinct in the wild. The species is said to be extinct in the wild. So these points you should have to remember. Once again I am telling to you, extinction means what? The species is considered extinct when none of its members are alive anywhere in the world. if individuals of a species remain alive only in a captivity or other human controlled conditions. Captivity or other human controlled conditions, in the sense, so the species is said to be extinct in the world. The species is said to be extinct in the world. That is important. Extinct in the world or extinct in the wild. So wild. Next, globally extinct. There are two types. The species would be considered globally extinct and locally extinct. What is a globally extinct? What is locally extinct? So the species would be what you called. The species is said to be extinct in the wild in the both of these situations. So completely worldwide we did not find, that is one condition. In the local areas, if you did not find, in the sense, that is called local extinct and global extinct. A species is considered to be locally extinct when it is no longer found in an area. It once inhabited but is still found elsewhere in the world. But it will be found in the world, in the sense locally extinct. Globally, anywhere in the world not there, in the sense, that is called globally extinct. So 450 million years of life on the earth. So in the 450 million years of life on the earth, okay, millions of years, 400 millions of years life on the earth. 5 mass extinctions. How many? 5 mass extinctions. So because of these 5 mass extinctions, which had eliminated at least 50% of the species flora. Extinction, 50% of the species flora and fauna on the globe. So because of this 5 mass extinctions, what do you call it? 50% of the species flora and fauna on the globe completely extincted. So these all are the points you should have to remember. Next, another important, the extinction of species is mainly due to drastic environmental changes. Why the extinction is happening, that one also you have to consider. So the extinction happening due to a drastic environmental changes. Global warming, okay, and the greenhouse effect and the pollution. So these all are the main reasons for the extinction of the species. So drastic environmental changes and population characteristics. There are 3 types of extinctions. Number 1, natural extinction. What is a natural extinction? It's a slow process of replacement of existing species, very slow process, with better adapted species due to changes in environmental conditions. So slow process, replacement of existing species with better adapted species due to changes in environmental conditions. Next, evolutionary changes, predators and diseases. So evolutionary changes, evolutionary changes, predators and diseases, main reason for the natural extinction. Okay, a small population can get extinct sooner than the large population. A small population can get extinct sooner than the large population due to inbreeding depression. What is that? A small population can get extinct sooner than the large population. So why the large population compare with the small population will be extinct? Due to inbreeding depression, less adaptivity and variations. Next, come to mass extinction. What is inbreeding depression? Same species involving in the same species involving in the reproduction and producing the new generations in the same species, that leads to inbreeding depression. So self in between self species only. Next one, mass extinction. The earth has experienced quite a few mass extinctions. Just now we discussed the earth was experienced few mass extinction due to environmental catastrophes. What do you call? Environmental catastrophes. Very big, large extinctions. A mass extinction occurred about 225 million years ago. When happened the mass extinction? 225 million years ago, the mass extinction happened. So during the age of Permian. So what is that? Million years ago, during the Permian, where 90% of shallow water marine invertebrates disappeared. Shallow water marine. 90% of shallow water marine invertebrates disappeared due to this mass extinctions. Next, anthropogenic extinctions. There are abetted by human activities. Very a big problem due to this human activities, in the sense what, like hunting, habitat destruction, over exploitation, urbanization, and industrialization. Some of the examples of extinctions, reasons for the extinctions. What are those? Once again, the hunting, habitat destruction, over exploitation, urbanization, industrialization. Some examples of extinctions, okay, are dodo of Mauritius and stellar sea cow in Russia, amphibians to be a higher risk of extinction because of habitat destruction. So you know very well, dodo of Mauritius and stellar sea cow from Russia completely extincted. This one, the most serious, the most serious effect will be there. The most serious, what you call, conditions are there because of this anthropogenic effects. They affect the total DNA. So genetic material and these all problems are getting disturbances. So once again, I'm children, very important. So hotspots we are discussing. Hotspots are the areas characterized with a high concentration of endemic species experiencing unusual rapid rate of habitat modification loss. Norman Mayer's one of the great person given the definition of hotspots as regions that harbor a great diversity of endemic species and at the same time have been significantly impacted and altered by human activities. A hotspot is a region that supports at least 1500, okay, very important, endemic vascular plant species, has lost more than 70% of its original vegetation. So 35%, 35 biodiversity hotspots in the world. Important need bit. This is a need bit. How many hotspots in the world? 35 biodiversity hotspots. So India is home to 4 biodiversity hotspots. What are the 4 biodiversity hotspots in India? Another bit. So number 1 is Himalaya. So the entire Indian Himalayan region. Number 2, Western Ghats. Number 3, Indo-Burma. Includes entire north eastern India except Assam and Andaman group of islands. Andaman group of islands in the sense Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia and southern China. Sundarlands includes Nicobar group of islands. Sundarlands also very important. Sundarlands are the very good hotspots. So includes Nicobar group of islands in the sense Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Philippines. Okay, next come to endangered organisms. A species that has been categorized as very likely to be extincted is endangered species. Endangered are categorized by International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Okay, so red list is the second most severe conservation status for wild population in the IUCN scheme after critically endangered. First critically endangered, second red list. Red list by who? International Union Conservation of Nature given the list. So you believe or not, in 1998 there were 1,102 animals and 1,197 plant species in the IUCN red list. But in the 2012, the list features 3,079 animals, 2,655 plant species are endangered worldwide. So like this, the rapid rate endangered is going on because of different reasons. The main reason for the extinctions, you know very well, that is a global warming and environmental changes. So extinction, a species, what is extinction? Species is considered extinct when none of its members are alive. None of its members are alive anywhere in the world. If individuals of a species remain alive, only a captivity or other human controlled. Okay, so like this. So there will be 2 types of extinctions: global extinction, local extinction. Worldwide, completely not at all. We don't find that particular species in the sense that kind of species is called, that kind of extinction is called globally extincted. If local area not find and overall in world may find in the sense that called locally extincted. There are 450 million years of life on the earth. The 5 mass extinctions are eliminated. 5 mass extinctions are there. So in that 5 mass extinctions, 50% of the species of flora and fauna of the globe is eliminated, extincted, due to drastic environmental changes, population characteristics. Main reason for the what you called these all eliminations. So number one, there are three types of natural extinctions. Number one, natural extinction. Number two, mass extinction. Number three, anthropogenic extinctions. What is natural extinction? It's a slow process, replacement of existing species with better adapted species due to changes in environmental conditions. So evolutionary changes, predators and diseases. Main reason for the natural evolutionary changes, predators and diseases. So small population get extinct sooner than the larger population. Why? Because inbreeding depression. Inbreeding depression means same self reproduction. So in the same species, reproduction continues in the sense that leads to what is called inbreeding repression due to no variations. Next one, the mass extinction. This is a very important extinction. Few mass extinctions due to environmental catastrophes, environmental changes, environmental damages. 225 million years ago, during the Permian, very important word, during the Permian, where 90% of shallow water marine invertebrates disappeared. 90% of shallow water marine invertebrates. You know very well invertebrates. Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, like that. So disappear. Anthropogenic extinction. Next come to third extinction is, these are affected by human activities. So human activities like womb, hunting, habitat destruction, overexploitation, urbanization and industrialization. These all are the main reasons. What are those? Hunting, habitat destruction, overexploitation, urbanization and industrialization. Some of the examples of main reasons for the what you called anthropogenic extinctions. So best examples, dodo bird from Mauritius. Dodo bird from where? Mauritius, very well, because of anthropogenic activities, Mauritius. And another important one, another important bird, another important animal, Stellar's sea cow from Russia. Stellar's sea cow from Russia. Amphibians seem to be a higher risk of extinction because of habitat destruction. Because of habitat destruction, a complete dodo and stellar sea cow and amphibians are endangered, completely damaged, extincted. The most serious aspect of the loss of biodiversity in the extinction of species, the unique information contained in the genetic material as the decay it possesses are lost forever. So the DNA genetic material completely lost forever. So like this, so many problems are there for the extinction. Naturally extinction, mass extinction, anthropogenic extinction. So these many extinctions are there. So in the tomorrow's class, we will be discuss about IUCN. What is International Union for Conservation of Nature? That one, importance of IUCN, how IUCN will be useful for what you call mankind to protect biodiversity, we will discuss.